Hi and hello everyone. Please lend your ears to what I am going to talk about today. So, I am going to talk about three major conflicts happening in the world right now, which is the war with Iran and Israel, Russia and Ukraine, and Israel and Gaza. These conflicts might be happening in the different parts of the world, but they all share something in common, which is they are causing huge suffering, especially to innocent civilians. I chose these three because they are not just political or military issues. They are also human stories too. So let's begin with the conflict between Iran and Israel. Recently, tensions between these two countries have gotten worse. Israel launched several airstrikes targeting Iranian military facilities, including missile production sites and even nuclear linked locations. In response, Iran fired multiple missiles into major Israeli cities like Beersheba and Haifa. But what's really alarming is that the violence has also impacted everyday people. A number of Iranian, Iranian hospitals and medical facilities were hit in the attacks. This has raised international concerns, with many calling out possible violations of humanitarian law. Civilians were caught in the crossfire and many lives were lost, not just soldiers but also regular people. Now we will shift to the war between Russia and Ukraine. This war has been ongoing since 2022 and it is still not over yet. Ukraine's top General Syrskyi, recently warned that Russia could launch a new offensive in the northeast, especially in the Kharkiv region. Russian troops have already made small gains in the Sumy area. They have the advantage in numbers, weapons, and artillery. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian forces are trying to defend their land by improving their strategy, using technologies and strengthening communication on the ground. Ukraine's situation remains difficult, but at the same time, the country continues to fight back. Even after years of destruction and displacement, what we are seeing here is a classic example of a war where one country is fighting to survive while the other is trying to dominate. Next up, let's look at what's happening in Gaza at the moment. This has been one of the deadliest and most heartbreaking conflicts. Israeli airstrikes in Gaza have killed dozens of people, including many women and children. Bombings have hit cafes, refugee shelters, schools, and even hospitals. There have been also reports of attacks near food and aid distribution centers. People waiting for basic supplies like bread and water were caught in the violence. To make things worse, Israel issued fresh evacuation orders, forcing thousands more to flee their homes. Gaza was already in crisis. Now, the situation is even more critical. Families have nowhere safe to go. The humanitarian system is collapsing. And here is the thing. These strikes in Gaza happened while ceasefire talks were taking place in Washington. So, on one hand, leaders are trying to negotiate peace, but on the other hand, bombs are still falling. It sends a confusing and a painful message, especially to the people living in the war zones. If peace is really the goal, why is the violence still continuing? These attacks followed peace talks held in Washington, casting doubt on diplomatic progress. It is a reminder that even when leaders talk about peace, it is often fragile and sometimes, unfortunately, not sincere. In the end, all three of these conflicts, Iran and Israel, Russia and Ukraine, and Israel and Gaza, show us how serious and complicated global conflict can be. But more importantly, they show us something very human. The people who suffer most aren't the ones giving orders. They are the ones losing their homes, their families, and sometimes even their lives. Together, These conflicts highlight the devastating human cost of war, the fragility of international negotiations, and the urgent need for enduring peace to prevent further suffering. And that's all from me. Thank you for listening.